everyone, Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel, Never Out of Books. Today I'm doing a very belated wrap-up of the Reading Rush Readathon as well as July. I read quite a few things, so hopefully I'll get through this quickly and it won't be too massive a video for you all. Let me just start with the Reading Rush, even though it was at the end of the month, just because why not? It was a fun readathon. I did end up signing up for the website and logging everything on there. I finished 6 books in that week and 1,599 pages, so not bad. I didn't read anything that I said I was going to read though. Well, yeah, a couple things, but it kind of went a little bit crazy here. So the first thing that I finished during that week was Christina Lauren's Dating You, Hating You. This is my first book by this author duo, and it was okay. The audiobook was good. It had both a male and a female narrator, one for each part of this duo. These two people meet, they kind of click a little bit, and then they find out they're competing for the same job once their companies merge. I think this book, if anything, made me realize I don't actually like hate-to-love romances. Crazy, I know. I got into this thing where I thought I did, but I don't really like them. I probably will try another book from this author, but not quite yet. So I gave this 3 stars. Then I read 3 graphic novels. I got on the hype train for Giant Days. I read volumes 1, 2, and 3. This is they say it's a young adult graphic novel series, but these girls are college roommates, so it's a little bit more mature than that, maybe. And just all the shenanigans that they get on getting to know each other, and they're 3 very different personalities, and it was fun. It was fun hijinks. I gave all of them 4 stars, so I really did enjoy them. I'm thinking about grabbing volumes 4 and 5, I think, are out at my library as well. We'll see. I read High Heels and Haystacks by Erin Nicholas. This is the 2nd book in a trilogy. I read the whole trilogy in the month, so of course this, isn't going to make a lot of sense, but I guess I'll start it out. These 3 girls, they're billionaires because of their father's work. He has them in his will. They have to go down to this town where he died and take over running this pie shop and make it successful, but they all have to do things that are way out of character for them. Overall, it was a very fun series. I kind of liked how they brought out everyone's faults. Everyone kind of knew what their faults were and how they ended up coming around and working on themselves. This one in particular, this was Ava's story. I didn't resonate with Anna very well. She's very type A and corporate. So I give this one 3 stars. Then I read 3 Weeks with a Princess by Vanessa Kelly. This is a historical romance novel. I don't normally like princess stories or things with royalty in them, but I kind of liked this one. I did only give it 3 stars, but it was not bad. I almost wanted to read some of the other books in the series, so that's good. But this is not one that I would recommend if you don't like historical romance, so that's that. And I listened on audio to 800 Grapes by Laura Dave. This got a lot of hype and a lot of fantastic reviews, and everyone said it was wonderful, and I just kind of thought it was, all right, it was fine. It's a family drama where Georgia moves away, had moved away from the family vineyard and become a lawyer and met a guy, and they were engaged and they were supposed to get married, and then she finds out something about him very quickly in the beginning of the book that she, in my opinion, completely overreacts about. Runs home, doesn't even really cancel the wedding though, I don't know, and then discovers that all kinds of things about her family. She was kind of whiny. I wasn't a fan of her. The author did make it work out at the end, but I don't know, the thing that happened, I'd be kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, things ended up working out, but this book was only 3 stars for me, so I'm not really sure where all of the hype was about. Oh, and there's a lot of wine. I don't like wine, so maybe that's part of the problem. And so that's what I finished during the reading rush. Now I'll get to the rest of July. On audiobook, I listened and finished to Vincis Tiger by L.M. Eliot. This is a young adult historical fiction novel, and this is about Ginevra and how she became Leonardo da Vinci's first models, in a way. This was interesting because I haven't read a lot of Renaissance books or, books set in this time period. I don't think I liked the narrator very much. I probably would have enjoyed it more if I were reading it, if I had read it as a physical book. It was very interesting, Platonic muses and all these different things that they did back then were interesting, but the story was kind of bland. I felt like it could have been a bit more exciting, I think. Or maybe that's just the way it was back then. I don't know. But I gave it 3 stars. 3 stars seems to be my rating. I know, it's sad. I also read Pride by Ibi Zoboi. This is a young adult Pride and Prejudice retelling. It's made its way around BookTube quite a bit because it is diverse in characters and author. And if I weren't so overdone with Pride and Prejudice retellings, I probably would have given this a 4-star rating because it was very good. It was very interesting how they weaved it all into, the Brooklyn neighborhood that's starting to get popular among more of the rich people. If you like Pride and Prejudice retellings, I would definitely say grab this. If you like diverse reads, obviously grab this. I ended up giving it 3 stars because of just who I am, and I guess I'm a pain in the rear end in July. But I did actually enjoy this. I read His Perfect Partner by Priscilla Oliveras. I read this for one of my reading challenges. Of course, I am always interested in dance books, but this, unfortunately, although looked very dance related, didn't have enough dance in it to please me, and so it was a bit of a disappointment. And this has, some of the typical tropes where she's a dancer and he's afraid she's going to be going away, and was in a bad divorce and has a child, and they don't think that they can ever be together, and yada yada yada. I wasn't overwhelmed by this one, sorry. I read In Safe Hands by Katie Ruggles. This is a romantic suspense novel. It's the 4th book in the Search and Rescue series, which I have not read any of the other books. This one I really liked. So Daisy is an agoraphobic. She has not left her home in 8 years. And her friend, who's a boy, has kind of made it so she doesn't have to deal with her problems. I mean, she was agoraphobic for a reason. She saw someone murdered right in front of her. I think it was her mother or something like that. And so whenever she leaves the house, there's panic attacks. But then she's looking out the window and sees a crime. Can't identify, but then she becomes a witness, and everything goes down and her life has to change. And I liked this one a lot. I gave this one 4 stars. This one I kind of recommend reading if you like romantic suspense, because it was good. I read Unexpected by Laurie Foster. It's also a romantic suspense novel. And this one was interesting because Eli is hiring someone to help him get to South America and rescue his kidnapped brother, and he thinks it's a man, but Ray is actually a woman. So that was kind of fun. And so, they have to go down and blah, 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 and, stuff happens. I think after the previous book, this one just did not hold up, so I gave it 3 stars. On audiobook, I listened to Ivory and Bone by Julie Eschbach. This is this went around BookTube as well among the young adult booktubers as a Pride and Prejudice retelling set in like the Stone Age or something. Again, just talked about how I'm not really a fan of Pride and Prejudice retellings right at this moment. The narrator was boring, and some of this, I mean, it was told in second person present, which was very distracting. I also would say if I didn't know it was a Pride and Prejudice retelling going into it, I probably never would have guessed that, because it is barely a Pride and Prejudice retelling. So I kind of gave this, it would be more like 2.5 stars, but I actually rounded it down to 2 because I was not really a fan. That one didn't work for me. Off my Kindle, I read Crazy for Her by Sandra Owens. This is also a romantic suspense. I got a little bit into romantics. This is the first book in the K2 Teen series. I'm not going to go out of my way to get any of the other books in the series. This one was good. I gave it 3 stars. But this is about an ex-Navy SEAL named Evan, whose best friend died in his arms. He feels guilty. He's got all that survivor guilt going on. And his best friend's widow just had a baby, who of course his friends is never going to meet, and yada yada yada. We got all that going on. And she's like, something funny is going on. And she's getting prank calls, but the police don't believe her. And so he comes to investigate. And it was good, but I couldn't tell in this book whether the baby was 6 months old or 6 years old. This author unfortunately does not know how to write children in books. And it was very distracting in this one. So I think that's why I rounded it down. Otherwise, it was pretty good. Then we got the first book in the series I was talking about before, Diamonds and Dirt Roads by Erin Nicholas. This is the first book in the Billionaires in Blue Jeans series, where the 3 sisters go down to some little town and have to make things work. This is the first sister to get her romance on. She is a party girl, and she meets a party guy, and it was very interesting, and I gave it 3 stars. I also read, because for the summer romance book bingo, I was supposed to read a paranormal for this month, and so I did. I read Dragonfire by Donna Grant. I got this arc in a book box a long time ago. It is definitely a paranormal. These guys they're dragons that can shapeshift into human form. This is book 14 in the series. Unfortunately, I mean, you can read it as a standalone, but there are a lot of people, and you're seeing a lot of people that you met in other books come in. And so to really get the full feel, I feel like you should have read all of the books. And this really isn't my thing, to be perfectly honest. They're helping this other guy find his stolen sword. And that was that. Yeah, I'm not really into that. I feel bad even rating it because I don't read paranormal, so it was kind of like, ooh, I don't even know what to give this book, to be perfectly honest. And then I read Cashmere and Camo, which is the 3rd and final book in Erin Nicholas's trilogy, and this is the Shy Sisters story. I gave this one 4 stars. This one I liked because I saw myself in her a little bit more than with the other sisters, and it was a good end to the series, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I could read this author. And so that is that. Oh, I tried to get through it quickly, you guys. I'm sorry if it wasn't quick enough. I'm sorry for me, because editing makes it really bad when it's over 15 minutes long. It makes things complicated, but I will see you later. Looking forward to it, and I hope you're reading something great.